Let me start with a short story. Two emperors got locked in a great ego clash. One of the emperors invaded the kingdom of his rival's friend, and the other emperor got all worked up, sent all his troops and ammunition to the aid of his friend. And before he could notice, all other territories started slipping from below his feet. This is a real story. I'm talking about the clash between Biden and Putin, which is unfolding even when I'm speaking. Hi and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of TFI Media Group. I'm your host Tejasvi Malhotra, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI Global channel yet, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. Let's begin. Never in the history of the American presidency have we seen an administration as incompetent and as clueless as to the Biden administration. At his age and mind, Biden doesn't seem to understand simple sentences, leave alone the idea of understanding complex geopolitics. And his top three men, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, haven't proved to be the masters of the game either. And now the Biden administration is being checkmated by Putin even as they put their entire focus on Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin is riding the African safari right in the middle of the Ukraine offensive. Russia and Cameroon have signed a military agreement for the exchange of information and trading of troops. Such deals have become a common affair of the continent and already exist in around 20 countries. The Russia-Cameroon deal was signed last month even as Joe Biden was trying to convince the world to boycott Putin. But it isn't as if Cameroon is some sort of an exception. Russia has been able to expand its military, commercial and strategic presence in the African continent. Take the case of Mali too. Since France decided to withdraw from the war-torn country, Russia has been supplying it with weapons, military vehicles, and hundreds of Russian military instructors belonging to the famous Wagner Group, a private Russian military force. And it isn't as if Biden didn't see it coming. Through regime changes in some countries and support to vulnerable regimes in others, Russia has been able to farm a lot of presence in countries like Ethiopia, Eritrea and Mali. Meanwhile, Russia remains strong in Libya too. When a resolution was brought before the UN General Assembly to condemn the Russian invasion of Ukraine, a third of the African countries had decided to abstain. This showed that Putin was actually riding the African safari. And now he is tightening the screws. Biden's problem is that he is putting all his assets in Ukraine. The man lives in an echo chamber and the left liberal media where all he can hear is Ukraine and Putin's invasion of the European country. So if Africa is slipping away from under his feet, he doesn't care. He cannot even understand that. He is overwhelmed by the terrible conspiracy theories and bizarre predictions about a regime change in Russia or Putin's mysterious illness. He really thinks that Ukraine is a watershed moment in US-Russia rivalry and that he can actually overthrow the Putin administration by applying sufficient pressure. On the other hand, Ukraine isn't even at the top of Putin's agenda. Ukraine is only as much as Russia's geopolitical agenda as Syria or Libya or a resource-rich African country. Putin knows that despite all delusion reports in Western media, he can take control of Ukraine whenever he wants. It isn't even such a make or break war as the Western media portrays it to be. Yet, Moscow is happy if Biden is consumed by his hate for Putin and obsession with Ukraine. Putin is buying time and is consolidating Russia's hold over other strategic regions, and Africa is a glaring example of Putin's checkmate moves against Biden.